Hi everyone, welcome to Spiritual World where we talk about all things related to spirituality so you can feel empowered in your day-to-day life. Well, hello my birdies. I hope you're well this week. Well, I hope you had a lovely Christmas time and you really enjoyed yourself. Great family time, great time of joy, and great food. I hope you ate a lot and felt really, really in tune and happy, joyful with yourself and with your loved ones. Nothing beats more than the happy time with your family members. So this week, I'm here to talk to you about soul contract. Now, soul contract is something interesting because it actually helps you see that the contract you have with a person. So sometimes if you have soul contract with your family member, so whenever it's a soul contract with a family member, it's usually longer, right? So you tend to have a longer relationship with them, and then they go through a lot of things with you. Some of them are more estranged families. It really depends of the type of contract that you sign with them. It could be contract with coworkers. For example, you could work in an office for 6 years and you decide to change and move away. And that is another form of contract, right? So from that end, you could see there is all kind of forms of contract that exist throughout your journey. Some people say, oh, it's like a train. You pass by and people leave, and some people hop on. You could consider it like that. It's basically a soul contract. Most soul contracts are done before you come on earth. So before you come on earth, you're assigned to a specific set of things that you want to work on. So all of these experiences are actually very beautiful experience because whether it is a bad experience, good experience, it's experience that your soul wanted to learn before it came on earth. And there's like different kind of plans. So some people will play the role of the villain. Some people will play the role of a Samaritan. Some people are just like those contract. They call them bump contract. They appear for you maybe one time, two times, just to deliver some news to you, to make you realize certain things. And once you learn it and you just let them go. And sometimes it could be, sometimes, for example, you'll see a nice Samaritan that helped you, you had an accident or something. Those are type of bump contract. They just appear for that reason, and that is very short lived. Whereas some of them will be very deep, impactful contract, such as they take good care of you, they shelter you, and they love you for achieving your soul evolution, and that is very, very important. Now, these days, I was actually going through a bit of a soul contract myself, and a thing that I want to mention is a lot of time people get upset because you come here predestined with a special type of soul contract. So your soul contract is like this. And once you come in with this soul contract, people think, oh, I'm stuck in this soul contract and I can't leave. But sometimes some interaction could be changed. Some soul contract can be changed based on my understanding. So I remember the last few nights before, I was like negotiating a soul contract, which I don't really remember what happened, but I couldn't sleep too well. So basically, I knew there were like guys that were like talking about the soul contract, blah, blah, blah. And from that end, I understood that we were actually negotiating for the contract. And eventually, the contract actually broke off because the person in question suddenly said, I'm breaking off this contract. I don't want it anymore. So that's why I thought it was something that was worth mentioning about. So whenever you have a soul contract, we have to understand that sometimes you are collaborating with your soul tribe, your soul guides, and you're working with everyone because you cannot make it on your own. So sometimes we come in and we have this belief that we can make it on our own, blah, blah, blah. But it's not true because you need the evolution of another soul to make you understand certain things, right? So for example, if you, let's take the illustration of some people, the challenge, the pain they go through, make them become an expert in XYZ. So for example, James Quick, he suffered a brain injury, so he was not doing so great in his at memorizing in academia, but he became the expert on memorization and speed reading and all of that. So you can understand that sometimes when we are different kind of circumstance happen, is for you to go through the hardship to grow into the type of soul you want to be. Now, we want to talk a little bit about different kind of soul contracts. So some soul contracts are like a soulmate contract. So these type of soulmates contract is not necessarily just a soulmate. It could be not necessarily romantic. It could be a sibling, a parent, a friend, or a coworker. And sometimes they will teach you a different kind of life lesson to help you grow and blossom into whatever you want to become. And sometimes the soul mate contract will not always have a happy ending because sometimes growth is painful. But I think whenever you are going through a soulmate contract, it's beautiful because you really evolve your soul to the next level, right? Because you're growing, they are teaching you growth and making you see through a different kind of lens. Now, there's another type of contract. It's called the twin flame contract. Now, the twin flame contract is an amazing, amazing contract because, like, usually it's like with a partner. Sometimes it could be a romantic partner, and you have a lasting, long, lifetime relationship with your twin flame. And then sometimes they'll come into your life at very, very different point in your life, and you're very tied to them. So it's very interesting because I once met a twin flame contract couple. Wow, the love that they have is constant, and it's just so wonderful. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could have that. But anyways, I digress. I hope everyone could get a twin flame contract because it looks so beautiful. You have such great chemistry, whether they laugh or whether they talk. It's just like the separation of a soul into two, so they become twin flames. So it's such a beautiful experience for me to see how it is like to have a twin flame contract, and I'm like, wow, those are the best relationship ever. But okay, anyways, I still hope whether you are in a twin flame contract relationship or not, I wish you the best with the partner that you are with because that really changes and transforms so much, right? Now, we talked about the bump contract. It is the type of contract that comes in for a very tiny period of time. For example, they just show up and they give you kindness, or they will make you go through your life in a new direction. For example, this person, they come to talk to you, blah 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 blah, and then they leave. They exit out of your life, leaving you in a different type of sense of perspective of life and how you should lead up your life. And those are really, really wonderful bump contract. And then sometimes, like, you also have different kind of negative soul contract. So sometimes some soul contract is more abusive, right? So you can't, you may be stuck with a bad colleague, a terrible boss, and different kind of you'll be stuck in this period that you feel alone and you don't like others, you hate yourself. It's just a form of a perpetual negative soul contract, which is kind of awful in itself. Sometimes we do have contract like that. I still remember there was a period in my life, like, I'm a person and he seems like fantastic. Ugh, he was just here to teach me a life lesson. And then at that moment, it was very brief. The encounter was like 2, 3 meetings. And I'm like, I don't want this anymore. And I told God, and I'm like, this is not the type of contract I want. I don't want this. This is not what I want. I want a great, healthy relationship. But clearly, I had lessons to learn. And then God said, okay, now do you want another person? So I've been shown when I was like halfway asleep, another person. But when I saw the other person, I said, okay, I'll pick him, not knowing I was getting into the same type of contract because I needed to learn that soul lesson because I wasn't self appreciating myself enough. And when that happens, they're like, your soul did not learn the lesson. So we needed you to go through the lesson. And that's why I had to go through that. But it was very interesting because as soon as I woke up that morning, the person that I said I didn't want to be in a contract with immediately text me and say goodbye. How interesting, right? So sometimes it is as quick as that. Now, there's also two other different kind of contract that I want to talk about. So one is the martyr. So they're the ones that say, oh, you the type of contract that you want to assist everyone except yourself because you just believe you needed to take care of everyone's load. And this is called the martyr contract. And then it is like you take on the load of everyone because you don't want to feel selfish, so you just like load it up, load it up, load it up. But once you learn it, you could exit from it. But sometimes it's just constantly ongoing, and I see it for many people, and sometimes I am also doing things like that. And there's also the last contract that I wanted to talk about is about the contract of loyalty. Are trying to walk all over you, and then sometimes you allow people to step all over you and say it's okay because of this, because of that. And you feel you're drowning, but you are still standing still with them. But you're drowning, but you're like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And this is a soul contract of loyalty. So these contracts that I was particularly interested in are actually coming from two authors called Danielle Mckinnon and Rachel Lang. I actually researched about the different type of soul contracts because I thought it was quite interesting. Because myself, I often negotiate my own contract during my sleep, not knowing that I'm in a contract because I know that all moment, if I'm not happy with this play called life that I'm in, I am allowed to change it. I am allowed to tell my spirit guide, my higher self, the council, God, to say, no, 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 no. This is not how I'm going to play it. I want to play it a different way. So whenever you are probably stuck in a situation, right? Maybe you're very stuck. You're like, oh, this is not what I want to go through, you could still negotiate it. But sometimes it's a lesson for you to learn. So once you learn the soul contract, you can move forward. It really depends what kind of soul contract you sign on before you came on earth. But you have to understand, for example, now the contract of loyalty is actually when people are, it's like a play. You can always mold it in the way that you want to. For example, it's not what person A, it could be person B. You know what I mean? So this is all I wanted to share with you when it comes to soul contract. You have to understand all moment in your life, you are in power. You can change your life situation around. So no matter the current hardship that you are in, always remember that you are empowered and you could change whatever is in this lifetime for you. So this is all I wanted to share with you. So I want you to stay strong and powerful as you embrace the new year. I hope you have a lovely holiday seasons. Bye bye for now.